Hi, I'm Chris Schloop, Amazon Books editor, and I'm here with Celeste Ng, author of Everything I Never Told You. First of all, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Can you describe your book a little to people who haven't read it?
Okay, so it takes place in 1977, and Lydia Lee, who is 16, half Chinese, and her parents' favorite child, disappears and is found drowned in her small town's local lake. And her death reveals a web of family secrets that threatens to unravel her family.
There is not a false note in the book, as far as I'm concerned. How long did it take you to write it?
Well, first, thank you for saying that. It took 6 years from beginning to end with some gaps. I had a son in the middle, but I worked on it for a long time, and it took 4 drafts too, and then plus another revision after it finished. So it definitely was a long road.
So you had a son while you were writing the book. Did that sort of change your view of what you were writing?
It did, actually. I had my son between the 3rd and the 4th, which turned out to be the final draft of the book. And in the earlier drafts, I had thought, I'm being fair to both the parents and the children. I think I understand them both equally. And then actually, after I became a parent, I think I became a lot more sympathetic to the parents in the book. Not that I agreed with the things that they do. I think they still make some pretty bad decisions. But I think I started to understand why they might do those sorts of things.
The book is in part about the secrets that we keep from other people in our family and in a sense, from ourselves as well. What did writing about that teach you about life, I guess, or about secrets?
It got me to think a lot about both the secrets that people keep on purpose, if we can call it that, the things that they deliberately hide from other people because they're afraid of how other people will react, they're afraid to let this information come out about themselves. But it also got me thinking about the secrets that people keep or the things that they don't tell other people just because it never occurs to them that these are words that other people are waiting to hear. The cliche is, I love you. People always think they don't need to say it, and yet people really like to hear that, and sometimes they really need to hear it. That's sort of where the title came from. Everything I Never Told You is not just about the secrets that are kept, but about the things that people, like the characters in the book, don't actually come out and articulate to other people or even to themselves.
As a parent also, the first chapter was really hard to take. I mean, it was rough, but after that, when you started exploring their secrets and their lives and kind of revealing them, there's something kind of uplifting about the story. Did you intend that? Was that something you were?
Yeah, I'm really glad to hear you say that, actually, because I always admire writers who are funny, and I don't think that I'm a funny writer, but I didn't want the book to be totally bleak. The questions that the book is asking are, how well can we know people? Can we ever have these real moments of connection? Can we ever really understand our children or understand our parents? I want the answer to be yes. And so in a sense, I did sort of want the book to have some optimism or some sense that these are barriers that you can overcome.
Were there experiences growing up that you drew from? Because it's a mixed race family. How did your experience growing up inform the characters?
So my family is Chinese American, and both of my parents came from Hong Kong, but we grew up in an area first outside of Pittsburgh and then outside of Cleveland where we were one of very, very few Asians. In my elementary school, I was the only Asian girl in the school, and one of 2 non-white students in the school. And so it was interesting to grow up in a place where you were very sort of visibly different from other people, and yet you're part of the culture, you're part of the community, and it's a strange sort of internal divide to learn to deal with. And so I wanted to draw on that for the experience of the Lee family, who are, like my family was, sort of outsiders in their community in certain ways.
Were you prepared for the amazing reception that you're getting?
No. In fact, when I started writing the book, the only way I could get myself to get through the first draft was to tell myself that no one would ever read it. And so I'd go, okay, well, I can't write that. And I'd go, well, no one is ever going to read it, so just go ahead and write the book and it'll be fine. And then I got myself through a second draft and a third draft and a fourth draft. And then by the time that my agent sent it out to editors, I started realizing people were actually going to read it. And in fact, we're reading it. So I've really been kind of thrilled and humbled by just how many people have seemed to respond to it.
Yeah, it's a lovely, wonderful book. I can't say enough about it. I really, really enjoyed it.
Thank
you. Nice job, I guess. What's next for you?
Started working on another novel, actually. This one is going to be based in my hometown of Shaker Heights, Ohio, which is a suburb on the east side of Cleveland and was a wonderful place to grow up, and I have a lot of fond memories of it. But it's sort of a quirky place. It's very, very highly planned and regulated. It was founded in 1912, and the founders planned out where all the streets would be so that no children would have to cross a major street before they got to school. And they planned where all the trees would go, and they replant them if they get cut down. They planned what colors and styles of houses you were allowed to build. And in the 50s, on a more serious note, when a lot of white flight started happening, they really carefully planned integration. And as a result, the community of Shaker Heights is fairly racially integrated. But along with that are some very weird little aspects. You're not allowed to put the garbage in the front of your house on garbage day because that makes the street look very messy, and they don't want that. So you have to keep the garbage at the back of your house, and there are little garbage trucks that, like golf cart size, that drive down your driveway and pick up the garbage and take it out to the big garbage truck.
This is a real place?
This is a real place, and in fact, in the economic downturn in 2008, Cleveland was hit really hard, and the city was kind of debating, should we keep the little garbage trucks? And people overwhelmingly wanted to keep them. And so there are a lot of little things like that. You know, there's a lot of focus on appearance, and I think it's very sort of symbolically rich to have to keep your garbage hidden away at the back of your house where no one can see it. So there's going to be another family story there. I haven't worked out all the details, but there's a family that lives in Shaker Heights and a mother and daughter who come to town and sort of disrupt the status quo a little bit.
Thanks so much for coming to talk to us. It's really a pleasure.
Right, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks.